Hi, and welcome to the Share Today show. Are you contemplating marriage? Well, don't do it till you watch the show. We'll be right back in a moment.
For more information, contact Share It Today at 248-968-2780 and visit shareitnumber2day.com.
Welcome to the Share Today show, Felisa Perry.
Yes.
Right? Thank you for coming on the show to share with us on our topic, preparing for marriage, which is a very important topic, subject, very sensitive these days. There's a lot of people contemplating marriage, and they don't seek counseling prior to. Why is that?
Probably because I don't think they know the importance of premarital counseling.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they plan so much for the wedding, a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
They don't plan for the marriage,
Mm-hmm.
so they don't really know that premarital counseling is definitely needed.
Why do you suggest that it's needed?
Because I think a lot of things need to be talked about before they get married that will come up later on in their marriage.
And for some reason, couples prior to marriage do not talk about certain things among themselves.
Yes.
So this is why you're suggesting an intervention, right?
Yes, absolutely.
What are some of the things that couples should discuss before getting married?
Communication, how their communication is, if they can talk, not just about good things, but bad things as well. Prior to things happening, because a lot of times couples argue for the little things and they turn huge. Finances, absolutely, and sex.
Well,
Those are the three.
That's not little. Finances, sex is definitely not little.
Right.
But before we get too detailed in that, go back when you said, the communication part, and they don't want to talk. They should talk. They should be talking about bad and good.
Yes.
What about the ones that you may talk to about the bad? You're communicating in this relationship, and you're communicating your past, possibly your past, and you're talking about the bad things. But when this person begin to talk about their bad, it's very sensitive. You have to almost ease, the conversation in on them because it's something that they're dealing with from their past that makes them bitter, constantly angry, which means it's obviously a bad past. How do they get past that?
Well, talking about it more, having that open communication. Communication is not just one person talking. It's one person talking, the other person actively listening. Actively listening is when the other person feeds the information back. So now we're on the same page, and we're talking about the same topic. I always say we have one mouth and two ears that should say something. We don't listen, I think, as much. I think we talk more than that. And I think couples need to develop a communication style beforehand where they can talk about anything ahead of time. So problems don't arise, they can deal with them as they come and not build up. Because again, couples, there's the little things that couples separate and divorce for because they don't talk about it, and the little things get huge.
And the divorce rate at this, at this moment in time that we're in, it's huge.
Yes, and premarital counseling gives you about 30%. So if it's 50-50, 50% divorce, then it gives you another 30, so it's about 80%. So it's a little better.
At what point in time in the relationship that one is dating that they should actually seek premarital counseling? After 6 months of dating, 9 months?
I think when
12
they
months?
get engaged, depending on how long the wedding is, I think that they should do premarital counseling 6 months prior to getting married, if not a year.
Okay. And how many sessions? I mean, is it based on how many issues or problems that they may come in with that you see them repeatedly?
Right. Usually it's based on 5 sessions, 2 hours apiece, but they can have more if they want.
Okay.
Depending if they have more issues, they can have more than that, but that's kind of an average of what people do.
Tell me from your past experience as a national
certified counselor,
what are some of the issues, the biggest, huge issues that you have encountered when you are in counseling with couples? You did mention communication, you mentioned finances, you mentioned sex.
Yeah, those are the 3 major, and then there's dimensions off of each one of those.
Okay, let's start with communication. Let's elaborate a little bit more on that.
Well, again, like I was saying before, couples a lot of times don't have a good communication. I mean, we don't really learn communication. I mean, there's really no way we learn it. Half the time our parents didn't teach us that, and we can't fault them. They didn't learn that. We don't learn it in school nor college, and they usually learn it in in therapy, where they know how to talk to each other. And again, talking is not just one person talking, it's the other person actively listening and sharing a conversation, not me talking at you, but us talking together.
And if that happens, would you say that that would be considered talking to a person that has poor communication skills?
Oh, absolutely, yes, absolutely.
Okay. Finances.
I think a lot of couples ahead of time don't talk about finances. A lot of couples nowadays are keeping finances separate, which I think is huge because that
Is that a problem? Do you think that's a problem?
I think it is, because gradually as the relationship goes on, they separate more and more and more, and eventually separate. I think that couples need to, I mean, if you can't talk to your spouse about anything and everything, who can you talk about with? I mean, that's the person.
We'll take a break and come back on finances because, like you say, they do keep it separate, and if you separate finances, you'll find yourself separating in other areas. We'll talk about that more when we come back in a moment.
Share It Today is another source of outreach for the mission of Virtuous Family Community Services, helping build families for opportunities and advantages. Visit us online at www.vfcs.org or email us at help@vfcs.org. DVDs are available for purchase online at shareitnumber2day.com.